Welcome back to East Coast Wagering. Del Mar has a nice 11 race card this Saturday featuring the Grade 1 Bing Crosby and Grade 2 San Diego. In contrast to the Saratoga graded stakes races this Saturday, which drew fields of only 4 and 5, the Bing Crosby and San Diego have 10 and 9 horses respectively. In particular, the San Diego has an excellent competitive field that I'm going to do a full field analysis on. I'm also going to offer my selections for the Bing Crosby as the rest of the card as well. So let's take a look at that Del Mar card for this Saturday. I'll start by breaking down the full field for the Grade 2 San Diego. We have 9 horses going a mile and a 16th on the dirt here, including the top 4 finishers from the Grade 1 Gold Cup. That race was at a mile and a quarter, and the winner was the number 1 There Goes Harvard, who rallied from off the pace to get up by a length. It was a career best effort, and this horse has won 3 straight, but I think this horse would prefer the extra 3/16 of a mile, and the shorter distance benefits a few of the others from the Gold Cup more. He also had the benefit of Irad Ortiz up in the saddle that day, who may be the best jockey in the country at timing his run based on the pace setup. This horse has a chance, but I like others more here with the cutback and the jockey switch. The second place horse that day was the number 2 here, Defunded, who set the pace and was pressured by the 4 Stiletto Boy. He put that one away but could not hold off There Goes Harvard. It was a nice effort overall from Defunded, who does get the benefit here of the shorter distance as well as the return of Baffert as his trainer after the suspension. The pace here in the San Diego could be interesting as many are typically up close, including his favored stablemate Country Grammar. He has stalked effectively before though, and I don't see the 2 Baffert horses setting a blistering pace and running themselves out of the race. The third place horse from the Gold Cup comes out of the 9 post and was the favorite that day. Royal Ship stalked in 3rd but never fired. He finished 3rd in this race last year, but from my perspective, he's not running the same form he was last year. In a wide open race, 4-1 is very difficult to take on this one based on his last try. In 4th place that day was the aforementioned Stiletto Boy, who pressed Defunded throughout the race to make sure the pace stayed honest. It will be interesting to see how they deploy this one as he won the Grade 2 Californian from on the lead 2 back, but failed to challenge when stalking last time out. Additionally, prior to the Californian, his recent race history came from off the pace with limited success for minor prices. This horse keeps good company, but I don't see his path to a win here. If he guns the lead, he will likely face a hot pace, but if he sits back, he never seems to get up. The favorite on the morning line is the number 8 Country Grammar, who comes back after a successful trip to the Middle East where he scored in the Dubai World Cup. Prior to his Middle East trip, he was on a 9-month layoff, and he's coming into this one off of a 4-month layoff. His last time racing in the States was a win in the 2021 Gold Cup. In both that effort and his Dubai World Cup effort, he stalked the pace and showed tremendous grit grinding out wins. This is a very talented horse who shows a ton of determination when asked in the stretch. My concern is, at a short price, I do have some questions. Horses typically take a race or two to return to top form after coming back from Dubai. This is his first try back in the States. Also, he is 0 for 2 at this distance with only a 1/3 to show for it. I think he is most effective going a bit further. He should get a nice stalking trip, but I'm going to try to beat him at the short price. The number 3 Mandolin tried shipping to the Middle East as well, but unlike Country Grammar, he came back unsuccessful. He returned to the US in the Stephen Foster, but was soundly beaten, finishing 4th by 9 lengths to the talented Olympiad. He's another horse that wants to stalk the pace, and maybe you can make an excuse for him in the first race back in the US. I was against him that race in the Stephen Foster, and I'm still taking a stand against him here. This horse was very inconsistent his 3-year-old season, and maybe this is just who this horse is. The type that will pop off a big race every couple tries, but the odds you're going to get him, I like some others more. The number 5 Senor Buscador is the longest shot on the morning line, and he did show promise as a 3-year-old, but he's had issues staying on the track. He did win his comeback effort last out, but that was only going 6.5 furlongs against much lesser competition. He's in a much deeper field here, and maybe if the pace gets hot, he could maybe close up and get a share of the trifecta, but I can't recommend this horse based on only his last effort against this very strong field. The number 6 Parnelli is the other long shot in the field at 15-1 and comes in off back-to-back optional claiming wins. I have a bit more interest in this one than Senor Buscador, but this is throwing him in the deep end with this field. He did dead heat for first with There Goes Harvard 2 back, so the horse does have potential. I like where he will be sitting given how I expect the pace to shape up. I'll try him underneath in the exotics for the value he offers, but if he drops much lower than the 15-1 morning line, I'm not as interested. And the final entry in the field is the number 7 Tripoli, who took some time off after his Breeders' Cup Classic effort, and he came back in a mild turf race, the Grade 3 American. He did not get a very clean trip in that race, and he never looked relaxed most of the race at all. He ultimately ran a flat 4th. It was a curious spot for a horse that has done his best running on the dirt, though the Kitten's Joy bloodline typically is better on the turf. I'm willing to toss that race due to the surface and the layoff. I like the value you'll be getting on him, and he does have the back form to be competitive here. He is one of my top choices this race. Ultimately, I'm going to play it the number 2 Defunded, the number 7 Tripoli, and the number 8 Country Grammar. I will spread a bit in a trifecta and include the number 1 There Goes Harvard, the number 4 Stiletto Boy, and number 6 Parnelli underneath. This is probably a race you want to go a bit deep in your multi-races though, but this is a very tough card. The other stakes on the card is in race number 8. It's the Grade 1 Bing Crosby going 6 furlongs on the dirt, and my top selection in this race is the number 4 Drain the Clock. Like a couple in the San Diego, Drain the Clock tried to win in the Middle East for the large purses they offer on Dubai World Cup Day. He was unsuccessful, finishing 7th in the Golden Shaheen. Then, like many others, first race back, he ran flat in the Smile Sprint. I look at it this way. His best race versus the best race of these others, he is the winner. The question is whether he will rebound from the poor showing last out. I'm taking the chance at 4-1 that he is ready to run back to the form he showed prior to his overseas trip. The other horse in this race I have the most interest in is the number 1 Desmond Dass. He steps up to graded stakes company after 2 straight victories in minor stakes races. I think he is most effective at sprint distances, and he gets the jockey change to Florent Giroux. Besides Drain the Clock, I'm a bit skeptical about the other horses in this race in graded stakes company, so I'll take a chance on the number 1 stepping up in class. The number 2 Shaz is the morning line favorite at 7-2, and I think he probably will be the favorite at post time as well. He finished 3rd last out in the Grade 3 Steve Sexton Mile and has been competitive every time he stepped on the track, winning his first 3 lifetime races, 1 through a disqualification. I think he has one of the better chances to win here, but I feel like he's going to get massively overbet due to the Baffert effect. I'm going to try to beat him in multis, but will play him underneath in exotics. While these are my top 3, I think the underneath portion of the trifecta is absolutely wide open, so I will likely be keying Drain the Clock on top and then going a little bit deeper underneath. And here are the remainder of my selections for the entire Del Mar card. So those are my selections for the Del Mar card this Saturday. I think both of the graded stakes races are pretty wide open. The San Diego a little bit more than the Bing Crosby in my opinion. This is a very, very difficult sequence in the late pick 4 and late pick 5, but I think it can pay big. As you can see, I like a couple longer shots in my top 3 horses. This is Jeremy Pielmeyer for East Coast Wagering. Thanks for watching my video, and I'll see you again soon.